Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. Purple and white, but you know what I mean. Double 11 senior year made history. Football, we took it to the playoffs. Collegeville, white and purple, yeah, we are the K-House. I said the K-House, the school of champions. We laugh a lot, we rap a lot. I'm asked I be an Indian again. I'm telling them that Collegeville is where it's at. So when we on the field of court, they better be aware of that. They scared of that. Of course, look at the ceiling. What up, Mr. Floyd? Yeah, Collegeville. And yes, I'm glad to say that I'm a K-Hawk. I'm about to graduate. Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
White and purple, yeah, I know you see it. You see the chaos and you tell yourself you wanna be it. I go to CHS, so I am a champ. I ran this game so long I'm starting to get a stomach cramp. Class of 1 and 2, but we're number 1. Shout out to all my juniors, yeah, you know we get it done. White and purple, you already know. It's little easy peasy and that boy lay low.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
I'm about my white and purple. Scarface and DJ Screw. We on the peak of the mountain, best at what we do. Yeah, we the champs, homie, but we ain't selling shoes. These boys bleeding purple, call us the cheapin' crew. They don't gotta do it big, cause I don't play with sports. I play my cards right. Now a good report. When Dub 12 comes, it's time to roll off. I'm in the back cause everybody rolling with me. K-Hawks.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Look, all the freshmen, all the fresh sophomores,
High school, champions.
yeah, they know what it is.
All around my town, everything is
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
we shut it down for the school and the sports team.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collegeville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
And very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Belleville West High School. We are here because there's a little postseason action going on as your Collinsville Lady Kahok soccer team gets ready to take on the Edwardsville Tigers in this Class 3A regional semifinal. My name is Todd Duke. Welcome into the pregame show brought to you today by Chiropractic Works in Collinsville, owned and operated by Dr. Chris McCluskey. He and his crew are focused on helping as many people as possible live high-quality lives all through chiropractic care and wellness. You can visit Dr. McCluskey at Chiropractic Works in Collinsville, 410 Regency Center, just off of the Beltline Road there in Collinsville. Give them a call at 618-343-3602 or online at chiropracticworkscollinsville.com. Well, the Kahawks come into this 3A regional semifinal as the number 6 seed. They are 6-12-1 on the year, and they finished 3-7 in Southwestern Conference play under their fourth-year head coach Jody Munoz, who now has a record of 19 wins, 57 losses, and 9 ties. The Edwardsville Tigers, they come in as the number 2 seed. They went 12-3-3 this year, and they went 9-1 in Southwestern Conference play and share a title with the O'Fallon Lady Panthers, who also finished 9-1 on the year, and O'Fallon is the number 1 seed in the regionals out here this year. And Abby Fetterman is Edwardsville's head coach. This is her 9th year. She has a record of 114 wins, 42 losses, and 9 ties. Lady Kahok's 6-win regular season is one more win in a season since the program went 11-8 in Chris DiGirolamo's final season in 2021. Current head coach Jody Munoz picked up one more win this season to better her 5-win totals in both 2022 and last year's 5-16-1 record. First win came for Collinsville in their 4th match of this season, a 1-0 home win over Belleville East. That took place back on March the 27th. From that win, Collinsville went 4-2 over a 6-game stretch from that final match in March through mid-April. Lady Cahoks went through a tough 4-match winless streak from there and went 2-0-1 in the 3 matches that followed, with a 4-0 win at Centralia and a 2-0 win at Alton, with a 0-0 tie with Freeburg sandwiched in between those for the only tie on the season for Collinsville. Lady Cahoks come into this 3A regional semifinal having dropped their last 3 matches with a 3-1 loss at Father McGivney on May 12th, followed the next day by a 2-0 loss at Triad, before wrapping up the regular season with a 1-0 home season finale loss against the same Edwardsville Lady Tigers at Kahok Stadium in a game that was stopped after the first half due to lightning because of all the storms in the area. That was the day before the EF3 tornado that caused widespread damage in St. Louis and the Metro East hit. And that cleanup, by the way, is still underway. Well, Edwardsville, they're having another typical Lady Tigers soccer season after finishing in 4th place at the IHSA state finals in last year's 3A playoffs. Edwardsville started the year with a 1-0 loss at Columbia before wins over Triad and Collinsville. A 2-1 loss versus O'Fallon followed that. From there, Edwardsville went 5-0-3 with ties against Naperville Central, Granite City, and Glenwood. That included Southwestern Conference wins over Belleville West and 2 over Belleville East. A 1-0 loss at Father McGivney stopped the point-scoring run by the Lady Tigers. They finished their regular season by winning their final 5 matches, though, all Southwestern Conference matches that included 2 wins over Alton, with Edwardsville outscoring the Lady Redbirds 15-0 in those 2 matches, plus back-to-back wins at O'Fallon and Belleville West. It was 2-1 at O'Fallon and 2-0 here at Belleville West before ending the regular season with that 1-0 weather-shortened win at Kahok Stadium Thursday night. The winner of this match will return here at Belleville West Friday night for a regional championship game against the winner of the next match between the 3rd-seeded host Belleville West Lady Maroons and the 5th-seeded Lady Lancers of Belleville East. Well, we had 7 seniors this year for Lady Kahok Soccer, so we are just finishing up our senior interviews and my conversation with the final one on the roster, number 22, Liliana Lira. That'll be coming your way next as the Chiropractic Works pregame show rolls on here on the Kahok Sports Network.
I'd like to introduce you to some incredible new technology we have available here at Chiropractic Works. The machine is known as an Invisired lipolaser machine. The Invisired machine emits a red light and red laser that combine in unison to go through the skin layers into the adipose or fat tissue and cause the cells to go ahead and metabolize themselves. The Invisired technology is the only machine that's FDA approved for fat loss, stimulates collagen and elastin, improves the function of the lymphatic system, boosts metabolism, and increases metabolic response. Typical response after the very first treatment is 1/2 to 2 inches of loss in body measurement. So if you think that this technology could help you accomplish any weight loss or aesthetic goals, we would be glad to have you come in for a consultation, get a first treatment, and experience the amazing benefits that Invisired offers.
Looking for something to get your high school student involved in? Maybe joining the Collinsville Kahok Trap Team is that something. Created in 2017, the Collinsville Kahok Trap Team has joined a long line of area schools in one of the fastest growing and safest sports in the country. Trap shooting is a fun, team-oriented outdoor sport that offers friendship, competition, and teamwork, all in a safe and fun environment that encourages students to be part of a team in which they will learn valuable skills and are encouraged to engage in community involvement through volunteering and mentoring. If Collinsville Trap sounds like something your student would be interested in, call Collinsville Trap at 618-795-9893 or visit Collinsville Kahok Trap on Facebook. Caseyville VFW Post 1117 Auxiliary supports the VFW with post projects and fundraiser events. The Caseyville VFW Auxiliary also provides donations and sponsorship for Veterans in Need, Jefferson Barracks in St. Louis, the Caseyville Food Pantry, outreach programs, summer lunches for students in the Collinsville Unit 10 School District, and now the Kahok Sports Network. Plus, sponsoring CHS programs like band, theater, and sports. If you would like to provide support or join the Caseyville VFW Auxiliary, contact the Caseyville VFW Post 1117 at 618-344-9878. Is it finally time to start doing what you've been talking about doing for years? Start making those plans right now and let Northwestern Mutual help you plan your future. Former Kahok Joe Philpott can help you get started with that plan today. Joel Philpott, a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual, can help build a plan specifically for you with a wide range of financial options and the flexibility to change that plan as your priorities change. To get started on your future, give Joel Philpott a call today at Northwestern Mutual's Fairview Heights office at 618-606-2022. Spend your life living with Northwestern Mutual. Call Joel Philpott today, 618-606-2022. Want to catch some of the best live music in Collinsville from a band of all Collinsville area residents? Look no further than Sonically Pleasing. Sonically Pleasing with former Kahok Logan Carlisle, his dad Tim, along with Caleb Tanzius, play some of the best rock and roll hits from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. You can catch Sonically Pleasing at some of the area's finest venues, as well as book Sonically Pleasing for your private event or party. To put some music in your life, it's Sonically Pleasing. Check out Sonically Pleasing's Facebook page for upcoming live show dates and to book them for your special event or to call to book that event at 618-401-0052. Pleasing live rock music for your ears. Sonically Pleasing, 618-401-0052. Are you a collector of sports trading cards and other sports memorabilia? Then you need to check out Rippin' Rookies Cards and Collectibles in Collinsville. Rippin' Rookies specializes in sports cards from all the major sports, MLB, NBA, NFL, plus Star Wars cards and more. Rippin' Rookies buys, sells, and trades cards and other memorabilia, and they have a large selection of single and graded cards. Walk-ins at Rippin' Rookies are welcome, or you can set up an appointment for large collections at sales@rippinrookies.com. Rippin' Rookies, 102 East Clay Street in the Old Herald Complex. Open Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Rippin' Rookies, Collinsville sports card and memorabilia destination.
I'd like to introduce you to some incredible new technology we have available here at Chiropractic Works. The machine is known as an InvisiRed lipolaser machine. The InvisiRed machine emits a red light and red laser that combine in unison to go through the skin layers into the adipose or fat tissue and cause the cells to go ahead and metabolize themselves. The InvisiRed technology is the only machine that's FDA approved for fat loss, stimulates collagen and elastin, improves the function of the lymphatic system, boosts metabolism, and increases metabolic response. Typical response after the very first treatment is a 1/2 to 2 inches of loss in body measurement. So if you think that this technology could help you accomplish any weight loss or aesthetic goals, we would be glad to have you come in for a consultation, get a first treatment, and experience the amazing benefits that InvisiRed offers.
And we welcome you back into the Chiropractic Works pregame show here on the Kahok Sports Network. We're getting our spring playoff sports underway. And as always, that begins with Lady Kahok Soccer as they get ready to take on the Edwardsville Tigers in a regional semifinal here at Belleville West High School. We are wrapping up our senior interviews. We had 7 seniors and not enough games, so here we are at a playoff game. Getting our last senior interview in, and that is number 22 on your list, Liliana Lira, 3-year varsity midfielder for your Lady Kahoks. All right, let's get to know the family. Tell us about your mom, your dad, any brothers and sisters, and any pets.
Well, it's my parents, and I have 2 brothers and 1 sister, and I'm like the middle child, and I do have one, actually two dogs. One is a wiener dog, and one is a tiny labradoodle.
And what are the dogs' names?
Rocky and Layla.
Rocky and Layla. And I'm sure you remember your siblings' names, right? Brothers and sisters, what are their names?
Eric, Monica, and Diego.
And you say you're the middle, so is there a big sports rivalry there? Are they all into sports and you guys push each other?
Yes, we all been in sports. My older brother been in wrestling. My older sister been in cheerleading. Me, soccer, and my younger brother is soccer and track.
All right, so where does all the athleticism come from in your family? Did mom and dad play sports when they were younger?
Well, my mom did, but my dad didn't really play sports in school, but he pushed us to play sports.
All right, so where did the soccer come from? Who got you involved in soccer?
Well, I think my dad got me pushing to soccer because he really loves me to play soccer and watch me on the field.
So how old were you when you got started playing soccer?
I've been playing soccer since I was 5.
All right, so you might be pretty good at it by now. I don't know. All right, soccer story. Let's see, I already did that. So I went back. I always go back and look at stats. You didn't have any stats during your sophomore year, and you don't have any so far this year. But last year you scored 3 goals. So how cool is that, scoring goals?
Yeah, I was very excited scoring goals, but I wanted to push myself this year, but Jody made me play defense this year, so I guess maybe during college, maybe.
So your job now is to stop goals.
Yes, that is my job now.
All right, let's get to find out about a little bit more about you. This is the favorite things category. Tell me what your favorite sweet snack is.
I would say granola bars.
I like granola bars. Favorite salty snack?
I would say peanuts.
I like peanuts too. In the shell or out of the shell?
Out of the shell.
I like the shell too. Sometimes I even crunch on the shell, but don't tell anybody. All right, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, which one's your favorite?
I would say breakfast.
What is for breakfast and who cooks that breakfast for you, or do you cook it yourself?
Sometimes I do, but I love my dad's cooking. He usually cooks eggs with chorizo, and I just eat that up.
I'd eat that up too. Do you have a favorite restaurant?
Any Mexican restaurant, really, because I just love Mexican food.
So do I. I get Tres Caminos a lot. A lot of people answer that one like that. All right, music genre. What is your favorite kind of music to listen to?
I would say R&B.
And do you have a favorite group or a favorite artist in that category?
I would say Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars. I got a couple of his albums at home. All right, let's talk about some school stuff here. What is your least favorite class in high school? I know high school's over, but what was your least favorite class while you were going to high school?
I would say English class.
What is your favorite class while you were going to high school?
Math.
I get that a lot too, and that always baffles me. I'm not a big math guy. All right, so you graduated Saturday. How was that?
That was amazing. My whole family was there cheering me on, and I was just so happy that day.
All right, so what comes after high school? What are you going to be doing next?
I'm going to go to SWIC, and then after SWIC, I'm going to SIUE.
All right, are you going to have a major? What do you want to be when you grow up, so to speak?
I wanted to study physical therapy, so in SWIC, they have a program over there, so.
All right, so is this it for you in soccer? Are you done with soccer after this?
I had to see about my knee, but I wanted to take a little break just to focus on school, so we'll see if they want me or not.
All right, shout out time for you. Who out there would you like to say hi to?
I would like to say hi to all my family in Kentucky and Mexico.
All right, I got people watching in Kentucky and Mexico?
Yes.
Awesome! I didn't even know about the Mexico part. All right, so you have Edwardsville here today in a regional semifinal. The only way you move forward is to beat them. How do you do that?
I mean, our team, if we work hard and stay focused, I think we'll pretty much get them.
You guys played them last week and lost 1-0, but you didn't get to play the second half. So tell me how much that affected anything, if it did at all.
I think we just got a little down because they had a PK kick, but we still had our heads high and we wanted to play, but the storm just got us.
Yeah, seems to be happening a lot lately. Liliana Lear, thank you very much for the visit. Good luck out there tonight versus Edwardsville, and good luck in your future.
Thank you so much.
That is Liliana Lear, number 22 in your program. We'll take a break here on the Chiropractic Works pregame show. When we come back, starters and stats, all that and more coming your way next on the Kahok Sports Network.
I'd like to introduce you to some incredible new technology we have available here at Chiropractic Works. The machine is known as an Invisared lipolaser machine. The Invisared machine emits a red light and red laser that combine in unison to go through the skin layers into the adipose or fat tissue and cause the cells to go ahead and metabolize themselves. The Invisared technology is the only machine that's FDA approved for fat loss, stimulates collagen and elastin, improves the function of the lymphatic system, boosts metabolism, and increases metabolic response. Typical response after the very first treatment is 1/2 to 2 inches of loss in body measurement. So if you think that this technology could help you accomplish any weight loss or aesthetic goals, we would be glad to have you come in for a consultation, get a first treatment, and experience the amazing benefits that Invisared offers.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Jason Regg, your Benjamin F. Edwards financial advisor, understands this. That's why Jason Regg is a proud supporter of your Collinsville Kahawks and the Kahawk Sports Network, as well as the Kahawk Educator of the Month Award. For all of your investment needs, see financial advisor and investment vice president Jason Regg at the Benjamin F. Edwards office in Collinsville, located at 1008 Vandalia Street, or call Jason Regg at 618-223-5215 or visit benjaminfedwards.com. Benjamin F. Edwards, member SIPC. Collinsville Barbecue Supply, home of Code 3 Spices, is first responder owned by proud Kahawk alums. Located at 1966 Vandalia, Collinsville Barbecue Supply is your one-of-a-kind barbecue headquarters that focuses on everything barbecue and cooking, providing the best American-made barbecue grills, in-person class instruction, smokers, rubs, sauces, accessories, and cooking expertise from professional barbecue experts, including an in-house chef and pitmaster. Code 3 Spices provides award-winning sauces and rubs that supports our nation's first responder and military organizations that focus on the fallen, suicide prevention, and PTSD awareness. Stop on by, see the guys at Collinsville Barbecue Supply for all of your cooking and grilling needs. Collinsville Barbecue Supply, home of the 4-time world champion Patriot Sauce. Learn more about their products and mission in giving back to those who serve at collinsvillebarbecue.com or call 618-855-8855.
We love to have you come work for the city of Collinsville. We have many positions available, from seasonal jobs to full-time opportunities in many of our departments. From police and fire to Gateway Center, Parks and Recreation, and City Hall. Our employees enjoy great benefits like comprehensive medical plans, paid time off, tuition reimbursement, and more. Visit the city's website, collinsvilleil.org, to apply and learn more about working for the city of Collinsville.
All Pro Tees in Caseyville is your place for custom apparel and has been for over 20 years now. Why? All Pro Tees can handle any size project, big or small, and they specialize in large group orders. At All Pro Tees, quality is number one on their list of priorities, as is evident by their excellent service staff. Did we mention All Pro Tees has over 20 years of experience? They can even help with fundraisers and event merchandising for your group. And of course, All Pro Tees is your destination for everything Collinsville Kahawks. So for all of your apparel needs, for civic groups, sports teams, business outings, or even a family reunion, your apparel needs stop at All Pro Tees. All Pro Tees in Caseyville at 2240 South Morrison Avenue. Online at allprotees.com. Right across the street from Kahawk Stadium. All Pro Tees, 618-344-2200. Once again, we welcome you back here to Belleville West High School, and as promised, here are your starters. We'll begin with Edwardsville. And they will trot out to the field. Junior Tia Dimitrov, freshman Olivia Walls, senior Ren Rowe, junior Anna Maxim, junior Gabby Thompson, senior Blakely Hockett, Senior Ayla Homan, Senior Davi Heiser, Senior Lane Logan, Junior Grace Hughes, and in goal is Junior Jenny Burrows. They only give you the goalkeepers. They don't give you any other positions for the rest of them. Here is Collinsville starters. They will trot out Morgan Lang. She is a senior midfielder, as is Ava DiGirolamo. Ella Borm is a senior defender. Rylan Judasek, a sophomore midfielder. Peyton DeHadway, a freshman forward. Ashley Giannini, a junior defender. Addie Munoz in that same category, as is Carly Call. And Liliana Lira, our pregame guest, a senior midfielder, but I think she's been switched over to defense. And Elena Serna, a sophomore forward, rounds out everybody that's going to stand in front of your goalkeeper for this game, and that would be Carly Van Dyke. Chris Keller is joining us. How you doing there, sir?
All right, it's a glorious day. It's not storming.
I know, right?
At least yet. Hopefully we can hold this off here and get through this game. Unlike the last time these two teams played last week, Storms rolled in at halftime and didn't get to finish the game, so they just called it.
Yeah, 1-0 penalty kick game as only one half was played, so we hope that, and I was there for the first game of the year at Edwardsville, and they didn't play them too bad. And seemed like besides the penalty kick, it was going to be a 0-0 game up to halftime. So hopefully Collinsville can hang tough with a very stout Edwardsville team. We'll take one more break. Got the national anthem to go. When we come back, we will have some soccer for you. Collinsville getting ready to take on Edwardsville. All that coming up next on the Kahok Sports Network. Celebrate the life of your loved one should be as special as the person they represent. That's why you will always find the staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville ready to go the extra mile to meet the needs of you and your family during those times. For over 100 years, Her Funeral Home has been there for Collinsville and the surrounding communities. Of the many arrangements made after losing a loved one, the first is the selection of a funeral home. The staff at Her Funeral Home in Collinsville can help with that planning. Call Her Funeral Home in Collinsville at 618-344-0187. Her Funeral Home, serving Collinsville families for over 100 years. 618-344-0187. Got questions about Medicare? If you're approaching the age of 65, the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Bill Holton is a former Collinsville Raider and Kahok football player and is now an independent broker with Senior Health Plans, and he can answer all of those tough questions when it comes to Medicare. Which plan, which part, what's covered, and what's not. If you're approaching the age of Medicare and need those questions answered, let Bill Holton get you those answers. Bill Holton with Senior Health Plans. Call him today at 618-978-2306 or email Bill Holton at william.holton@yahoo.com. Looking for a new place to catch the game with cold drinks and great food? Look no further than 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville. 1101 Bar and Grill features pizza, burgers, wraps, and salads, plus 7 large screen TVs to catch the latest Kahok games and all the pro sports across the spectrum, plus all the college football and basketball you can handle. 1101 Bar and Grill in Caseyville, 1101 Caseyville Road, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Call 1101 Bar and Grill for carryout orders at 618-223-1332. VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville is one of the area's longest-running VFW posts. VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville is your place to meet and join other area veterans. Plus, VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville offers all kinds of activities to help our veterans, as well as engaging the public with fun, food, fellowship, and a great time for great causes. Blood drives, fundraisers, raffles, and a Queen of Hearts drawing every Wednesday night. Plus, VFW Post 1117 in Caseyville has event space for your parties, celebrations, and other get-togethers. For more information, check out the VFW Post 1117's Facebook page or call the Caseyville VFW at 618-344-9878.
The Collinsville Area Community Foundation is our community's charitable foundation. We connect people, support programs, and guide resources to help our community thrive. Our board is made up of local leaders that donate their time and expertise to identify opportunities for long-term community impact in and around Collinsville. Find out more about scholarships, grants, and ways to give back to the city we love by visiting CollinsvilleFoundation.com.
And once again, we welcome you back here to Belleville West High School. Todd Duke, Chris Kettler with you. Glad that you are with us. A little bit of a breezy day out here at a very busy sports complex here at Belleville West. Across the way, we have both baseball and softball going on. And, of course, we got the soccer game going on over here. And I believe they have a lacrosse game going on way over to your left. So all kinds of stuff going on out here.
Yeah, a nice little complex here. All the fields all here real close to each other. And finally, a day where it's not storming, everybody can come out and do what they do.
Yeah. We will be across the way. That would be out to your left if you're looking at the screen. The softball complex is over there, the baseball field right across here from the stadium. And we'll be at the softball field on Tuesday of next week as Collinsville will take on Belleville East in that regional semifinal. All right, let's take a look at some numbers. Carly Van Dyke in goal for Collinsville, 580 minutes on the year. She is 3-6 and has a goals against average of 2.43 and a save percentage of right at 79%. And Collinsville led in goals this year by the freshman. Peyton DeHadway has 6 goals. Carly Call has 4. Morgan Lang has 3. And then you have 3 young ladies that have 1 each for Collinsville. In goal, Jenny Burrows for Edwardsville, 1,050 minutes on the year, and they don't really keep a lot of stats. All I know is that she's played that many minutes, and that's about it. Their leader is Gabby Thompson in goals. She has 12 goals on the year. Collinsville is out there in the purple shorts and the white jerseys. Have a little purple numbers on the fronts and the backs. Edwardsville's out there in their black shorts. They have on gray jerseys to get this game started, and the numbers on the backs of those jerseys are in white, trimmed in a little bit of orange. I believe Edwardsville won the coin toss but have decided to defer, so Collinsville will get first touch of the ball as we get underway here right now on the Kahok Sports Network. Collinsville and Edwardsville. Winner will move on to Friday's regional championship game, and will take on the winner of the next game between the two Belleville public schools. Belleville East and Belleville West have the next game. There's a ball that bounces over the head of Ayla Holman. Holman will send it on back to the defense and find Blakely Hockett. Holman, Hockett, and Heiser all begin with an H, and those are your 3 captains for the Edwardsville Lady Tigers. I believe Carly Call and Muniz and Judasek, I believe, are the captains this year for Collinsville. Here comes Edwardsville. Well, just outside the 18-yard box. That ball will end up going across the line, and we are going to have a corner kick, and it's going to belong to Edwardsville. Didn't take very long for Lady Tigers to get the first corner kick of this game, and we'll find out what happens when Tia Dimitrov lets one go over there. That is the direction the wind is coming from, so she's going to be having the wind at her back as it's coming across this field today. Instead of going from goal to goal, it is coming from grandstand to grandstand, and that one's going to go and get picked up by the wind, and it's going to hit the side of the net. So
I think she counted for the wind too much. Didn't get it up there where it needed to go. Worried about the wind picking it up and taking it, but it ended up slicing right towards the goal.
Well, we had some storms come through overnight as well as this morning, but everything's since cleared out, and it looks like it's going to be cleared out for the next few days. But wouldn't you know it, we have rain in the forecast Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, just in time for the Memorial Day holiday weekend. Here is Edwardsville controlling the ball out of the midfielders' areas. Collinsville gets a hold of it for a moment there, and then that moment was gone. Edwardsville will take care of it once again, send it over to the far side sideline. Up that sideline it's going to go, and that is Gabby Thompson. She's the one that leads in goals with 12, and she's a force to be reckoned with all by herself. Back to the defense it goes, and Blakely Hockett. Hockett will send it over this way for Holman. Holman tries to send it up the line, but that's blocked out by Carly Call for a moment. But then Dimitrov gets a hold of it, cuts it around, and nice job there by Muniz to kind of cut off the avenue and keep the ball right where it is, although it is still in the field of play. There's a shot toward the goal, knocked out by Collinsville's defense. Judasek trying to use her head to get it going the other direction, but the Lady Tigers will take over and send it back out in front of the 18-yard box over to Thompson. Thompson has to chase down the ball, and she'll tip it on back to Lane Logan. Logan puts a shot toward the goal, and it rolls right to Carly Van Dyke. And Edwardsville records the first shot on goal as well as the first corner kick, but no damage done. And then Van Dyke will send the ball out to the midfield logo. Taken there right at that Belleville West logo. Judasek trying to wrestle it away from Maxim, but Maxim won that battle, sends the ball back over to Hockett. Hockett sends the ball up the line, but that's going to go out of bounds. And it's going to belong to Collinsville on the throw-in. Carly Call will take care of that right at the end of her bench.
Just fired it up there, and that wasn't towards anybody. Unless they thought somebody was up in that corner, and then they moved up.
Yeah, and then it got caught in that jet stream. And off of the shoulder there of Munoz, popped straight up and then headed straight down by Ashley Giannini. And she had DeHadway out there kind of open, but that closed up quickly. DeHadway out there in the middle of the field all by herself, surrounded by about 3 different Lady Tigers. And the Tigers get a hold of the ball and send it over everyone's head. And chasing it down is Dimitrov. Dimitrov just outside the 18-yard box, having to deal with Carly Call. Throws one that would have been wide and over the end line. It doesn't matter. Was not on goal. It was definitely past this near side post, but why take the chance at Carly Van Dyke? And she just caught it and sends everybody back to action. Got a good kick on that one, sends it past midfield. That one's going to bounce over the defenders' heads and roll all the way back. Trying to get in there and get a shot on it is DeHadway, but she was eventually pushed off of that ball. I believe that was Heiser out there that pushed her away from that ball. Ball comes up to Logan. Logan sends it up over onto the far side, being chased down over there by Collinsville. Kahok send the ball back up, trying to find DeHadway, but that ends up being knocked out of bounds by Heiser once again, and Collinsville will have a throw-in from the far side sideline. Up the line it goes, and over to Judasek, or is that DeHadway? I believe that was DeHadway. Serna waiting over here on the left wing, and that's offside, so that's going to draw a whistle, and Collinsville will get the ball back about midway between Carly Van Dyke and the midfield logo there.
Thought Edwardsville was just going to try to set it up more and continue to move up 5 by 5 there. Instead, they went for the long pass across and ended up getting caught off sides there around the 40 of the football markings.
Yeah, I kind of like to have those football markings. Gives you kind of an idea of how far things are away when you play on those fields that don't have those markings. It's all a guessing game. That ball ends up going out of bounds, put there by Edwardsville, so Collinsville will have a throw-in, and Ella Borm. And they're going to let her run up there a little bit farther.
Yeah, it's way farther. Referee says keep coming.
Yeah.
To where I am.
Yeah. Fielding referee says come on up here to the 25-yard line and throw it in from there, so we'll take that.
Yeah, sometimes you usually see him move up too far, and the ref's like, no, go back.
Yep.
This time it's like, no, hey, come way up, way farther up.
Ooh, they called that one out of bounds on Edwardsville. Yeah, now they're going to change it. The fielding referee had a lot better look at it than the guy out here in between the benches. And Edwardsville throws it in, but right off of the head of Serna and out of bounds again, so we'll move up a little bit. And another throw-in coming up from Homan. Homan looking back at her defense, thinking about throwing it there, but she thinks otherwise, and that bounces off of the head of Carly Call, and Giannini will get a little push from behind and just send the ball out of bounds. And it's going to go off of no one, apparently. And
going to be a shove there in the back of Giannini, and they're going to call that foul.
Yeah, kind of shoved her in the back, trying to get her off of the ball, and that's exactly what they called. So a free kick coming up here for Ashley Giannini, but it's, about 95 yards away. Low line drive kick off of the head of Dimitrov. And here is Thompson. Thompson threads the needle, sends it on up to Rowe, but that one's going to be offside as well. Edwardsville having a hard time getting set up coming down the turf.
Rowe ended up offsides there, but Dimitrov is trying to be the next player up there, and Edwardsville's trying to be quick there, and so that doesn't be offsides, but not quite quick enough.
About 3 yards closer to the goal is this free kick, and that one's got a little bit more air underneath it. Stopped right across the midfield stripe there by Maxim. Collinsville's got an opportunity, but a nice defensive play there by Holman to tap it on back to Burrows. Now back out to midfield. Here is Gabby Thompson once again. Thompson threads the needle. Van Dyke comes way out and takes care of that kick. It's going to go out of bounds, though, and it'll be a throw-in coming up here for Edwardsville.
Good heads-up job by Van Dyke. Knows that she's going to be the first one to get to that ball there, but she does have to come out of the box for it and just going to have to kick it out.
Yeah. Got way out. That one comes in right at the end of the Edwardsville bench. Nice little throw in there into the wind, actually. And a nice job by Morgan Lang, just tapping it on back to Van Dyke. And Van Dyke doesn't waste much time getting that ball all the way back out to midfield off of a couple of bodies, and then trying to settle it down are the Kahawks. Here is Borm. Ella will send it over to the far side, trying to spring free Ava DiGirolamo over there. And she gets bounced off the ball, and Edwardsville keeps it alive inside the field of play. Up to Thompson. Thompson sends it on up, but sent right back to where it came from there by Munoz. Munoz found a teammate, but it bounced off of her, and Edwardsville will get the ball right back, and they'll send it over here to this near side sideline to Homan. Homan, pinching up on the defense, will send the ball just a little bit too far for Dimitrov to get it, so it'll be another goal kick restart coming up here for Carly Van Dyke. 31 minutes and some change left here in the first half. No score yet between Collinsville and Edwardsville. And Van Dyke will send the ball back out. Got chopped down a little bit by that wind. Carly Call gets a hold of it, sends it up to Judasek, but it's dislodged once again here by Edwardsville. They'll send the ball on to Dimitrov, and Dimitrov trying to figure a way into the 18-yard box. That's not going to happen, and it's going to be a goal kick. No, it's going to be a throw-in, and it's going to be Homan from the defensive side of things. It's going to come all the way down the field and take care of this throw-in.
See how far she can throw this so she can get it up towards the box.
Yeah, it's going to be into the wind, though, so that might be a tough task. Not a bad throw, just outside of the smaller box there, and Edwardsville trying to wrestle it away. Collinsville gets there first, and then a shot that's going to go well high and bounce all the way to the fence on the other side of the track. So no harm, no foul there for the Lady Kahawks, and another goal kick restart coming up here for Van Dyke.
The throw got in there enough,
yeah, it did.
but Edwardsville really struggled to settle it down there, and then got kicked out and settled for the long shot.
Off of the head of one of the Lady Tigers players, and then a whistle will stop action there. I believe Edwardsville got called for another infraction, so it's going to be, or is it going to be just a throw-in? Yep, throw-in here for Borm, so they didn't blow the whistle, and that one goes off of a body and goes all the way to Homan. Homan will send it up the line, and the wind will push it toward the sideline, and Carly Call will do a nice job just letting it go out of bounds. Another throw-in coming up here for Ella Borm.
Giving her all the throw-ins.
Yeah, they are. Comes down and then off of the body of Serna and right into the Kahawk bench. So this time the throw-in will belong to Edwardsville. Here is Homan once again. Carolina Wiley checks into the game for Edwardsville. That ball bounces right in front of the 18-yard box and then out over on the corner side, and then it gets knocked out of bounds. Wiley came in and took the place of Ren Rowe. Collinsville has not made any substitutions yet. I asked Coach Munoz earlier today if she added any other of the JV girls to the varsity roster for the playoffs, and she said nope, so it is the same. Although late in the season, they did add in Munoz, Kaufman, Garcia, and Barrera. They remain on the roster as that ball rolls out of bounds.
Had some injuries and had to move some of them up, so she just kept them all the way through to the end, and here they are already ready for the postseason roster.
Homan, another throw in, and that one goes over everyone's head, and it'll roll, and then it's going to come out right in front of the empty goal. Collinsville got a hold of it, sends it back out, and the Kahawks avoided some turbulence there as Homan once again gets a hold of it, sends it over to the other side, trying to find Thompson. That'll be tracked down by Collinsville, though, and they'll send it out over onto the far side sideline. And another throw-in coming up there for Edwardsville.
Dangerous time for Collinsville as the ball ends up loose out there in front of the wide-open net.
Yeah. That was a little precarious, that's for sure. Edwardsville gets it inside the box, now just barely out. And toward the goal, it is Dimitrov off the crossbar. And Collinsville is going to have a goal kick restart here as that one hits the crossbar, and Collinsville gets saved by the iron.
Edwardsville just saves that ball from going out over the end line there. It ends up centering it there and ends up with a little bit of a shot on goal there. Goes too high.
Ball out to midfield on a low line drive shot there by Van Dyke. Comes out to Borm. Ella ticks it on up and trying to find DeHadway, but DeHadway,
like to connect that one.
yeah, lost her path to the ball and then got a little bit of a bump there from Hockett as well. Throw in comes back to the defense, and Heiser will work it up into the midfield circle and then send it past the circle up to Thompson. Thompson lost it for a second, went between her legs, and Collinsville got a hold of it and sends it back over to Heiser. Heiser, once again, now it's sent over to Heiser from Hockett. Hockett will send the ball up to Thompson. Thompson off of her body, but she runs into the body of Munoz. And then it gets on through, and then a nice job there at the last second by Collinsville to send that ball across the end line. And we're going to have a whistle on the play. So what would have been a corner kick is going to turn into a goal kick restart here for Collinsville.
It was offsides anyway.
Yeah.
But it was Giannini sold out there just to try to clear it out, get it to the end line. She didn't know if it was going to be offsides or not. Just keep playing.
That ball bounces into Collinsville's offensive zone, but it doesn't stay there very long. Now it bounces over the Collinsville defense. They'll tick it on back to Van Dyke, and with just 26 minutes left here in this first half, Van Dyke will send another one back out to midfield. No score yet between Collinsville and Edwardsville. Edwardsville's had the only shot on goal, although they did hit the crossbar once, but that doesn't count as a shot on goal because the crossbar is off limits on that particular stat. And a shot off the post. Another big try there by Edwardsville, and that one goes off of the post and has enough momentum to go all the way out of bounds. And Collinsville will get the throw in as the Kahawks bring in their first substitution. Here comes freshman Layla Wilkerson into the game, as well as Ava Smith, one of the midfielders, and out. It looks like we're going to lose DiGirolamo and Borm.
Someone else will have to start doing the throw-ins.
Yeah, that would usually be Carly Call. She usually handles most of them anyway. Over onto the far sideline, it goes, and a little bit of a misplay there by Edwardsville gave Collinsville momentary possession of it, but Edwardsville gets it right back, comes out to Heiser. Heiser sends it up into the middle, stopped there by Judasek, and then it's popped over the Collinsville's defense, and Giannini got there to use her head over to Serna. Serna stepping around one midfielder and trying to get around one of the defenders. She gets triple teamed over here on this near sideline, and there's a shot toward the goal, but that'll roll harmlessly to Van Dyke. 24 minutes and some change left here in this first half. No score yet between Collinsville and Edwardsville. Regional semifinal, Class 3A. Winner will move on to the regional championship game Friday. The loser, their season will be over. Here is Homan. Homan circles around, sends the ball on up for Dimitrov. Dimitrov lost control of it for a second, found the handle on it once again, and then it comes back, and we're going to have a call away from the play against Collinsville, and Edwardsville is going to get a free kick out of this right in front of the Kahawk bench. I didn't see what happened.
I think it was Serna, just a little too much there in on Dimitrov. Edwardsville tried to play through it, but once they moved to kick the ball backwards, referee decided to go ahead and make that call.
So here is Blakely Hockett, who will take this from about 45 yards away. She'll just give it a little punch shot up in front off of the head of Giannini and out of harm's way. That ball will roll all the way over to the sideline where it's picked up there by Serna. Serna with her head up, looking for a little bit of help. Couldn't find any. Tried to get it up to DeHadway, but DeHadway was more inside the field than on the sideline, and that ball popped up, and then Carly Call pops it back up again out to the midfielder zone, and then onto the foot of Hughes. Hughes sends the ball up right in front of the 18-yard box, blocked out of there by Collinsville. Comes back once again, and here is Homan again. Homan almost from the spot she took the kick from. That is off of the arm, it looked like, of one of the Edwardsville Lady Tigers players, and then Serna gets a hold of it. She's trying to send it up to DeHadway, but that's blocked out by Homan. Homan sends the ball back up, and then Carly Call does a nice job fending off Dimitrov for an out-of-bounds call, and Collinsville will have the throw-in. Mia Hook will check into the game for Edwardsville. She'll take the place of Lane Logan. And Collinsville with the throw-in up to Smith. Smith, both the Smith girls are out there now, Ava and Ella.
Ella just came in, and Mariana Everett also just came in.
There we go. Got an opportunity here. There is Ava Smith trying to spring the ball up and trying to find Everett with it, but just missed that connection and Edwardsville's defense takes over. Here is Maxim. Maxim sends the ball up, trying to find Thompson. Nice job over there by Munoz to keep that from happening. Over to the far side for Heiser it goes. Heiser sends the ball up the sideline and connects with one of her teammates. And then Edwardsville sends the ball farther back down range. Collinsville is going to catch up to it. Giannini does. Sends it back to Carly Van Dyke. Van Dyke with 21.5 minutes to go here in this first half will send the ball back out to midfield off of the head of Ava Smith. Collinsville then sends it over the head of the defense, but the defense for Edwardsville will get there first, and here is Hockett. Hockett sends the ball up. And nice job there by Smith. Sends it up to Everwright. Everwright did a nice job keeping it in. Tries to thread the needle. That's going to go off of one of the Edwardsville players, and Collinsville is going to get a corner kick out of this.
Great job by, I think it was Ella Smith that saved that from going out of bounds and flipped it up there, and Edwardsville didn't know what to make of it. Rolled all the way to the inline here. The Cats get this corner kick. They haven't got much in the way of offensive opportunities here, but now they get a corner kick.
Well, they're going to have to kick this one into the wind, though. And here is Judasek doing just that. Kind of bends and ends up on top of the net. So the wind not blowing as gusty as it has been. I'm looking at the American flag. It's just kind of laying there. But what little wind there was did push it a little bit to the left. So Collinsville missed their opportunity on a corner kick, just as Edwardsville did earlier. Now the Tigers will send the ball back up to midfield. Judasek trying to wrestle it away. Couldn't do so, and then it's knocked out of bounds by Wiley. And Collinsville will have a throw in here. Call will take that right in between the benches. Carly throws it in over the head of Smith. Everwright trying to chase it down. Edwardsville got there first. And then we'll send it back over to the defense a little bit deeper. Holman, well, didn't expect that coming from Smith. And then the defense will take over and try to send it back up. Here is Gabby Thompson. Thompson sends it back to the defense once again, and Heiser. Heiser approaches midfield, and Ava Smith was there providing a little bit of opposition. And now Giannini trying to chase it down. She will, but then gives the ball up right outside the 18-yard box over on the corner. Then a shot that never materialized because it ended up going off of the body there of one of the Kahok players. It comes out all the way over to this side for Dimitrov, and then Collinsville gets a hold of it again. And Ella Smith trying to track it down but couldn't quite get there in time. Dimitrov over in just outside the 18-yard box in the corner. Now Judasek trying to keep Hook out of the area to score in, but it comes right in front, and Collinsville gets it out once again, and then the Kahawks will get it farther out on a nice play over there by the Kahawk defense, and we'll send it all the way out over onto the far sideline.
Edwards will bring the ball in well deep there. But they're making it work, connecting passes in deep, and nearly had one centered there and could have taken that shot from right on.
Yeah. Here is Thompson. Thompson will take a shot. That'll go well wide of the far side post and out of bounds. So another goal kick restart coming up here for Carly Van Dyke. 18-20 left to play here in this first half. No score between Collinsville and Edwardsville.
Last time they played, the Cats kept Edwardsville off the board for first 30 minutes until that PK was called.
And I believe that the Southwestern Conference opener at Edwardsville early in the season was just a 3-1 win by Edwardsville. Collinsville played pretty well in that game.
Yeah, it was 1-1 at the half.
Yeah. Here is Edwardsville once again, and both the ball carrier and the defender go down. And then that ball kicked up off of the shins of one of the Edwardsville players over there and out of bounds. I believe that was Liliana Lira, our pregame guest, who took care of things over there. Now she'll have the throw in. She scored 3 goals last year as a midfielder, and she's like, well, I'm playing defense now, so my job isn't to score goals. My job is to stop goals.
Yeah, some new faces come in and move some players around.
Yeah.
It's their job to score the goals now.
There is Call. Call will get the ball out of harm's way for a moment. Comes down. DiGirolamo over there as well. And Lira trying to fend off an attack, and she'll do so. That ball will go off of her shins, and it'll belong to Edwardsville. Edwardsville doesn't waste any time throwing that ball back in just outside the 18-yard box. And a shot toward the goal will end up going all the way out the other side. And another goal kick restart coming up here for Van Dyke. 16:45 left to play here in this first half. No score between Collinsville and Edwardsville. Ella Bourne waiting to check back in at the next opportunity. And Van Dyke will send us back to work here. That ball will take a bounce out to midfield. Everwright sends the ball back, trying to spring free one of the Smith girls, but she missed the mark on that one. Now a loose ball. This one will find Ava Smith. Gets it up to Ella, and then back out to midfield it goes until it's tacked over here by Homan. Homan keeps the ball from going out of bounds and then gets taken out of the play by a body that was on the ground for Collinsville. And now Ella Bourne will get the opportunity to check back in. She'll take the place of Ava Smith.
That's some good minutes there from Ava Smith.
Yeah.
Ella Smith also came in and got some good minutes. Those girls have started a lot of the season here, but now they're coming off the bench, and good spark plug there to come off the bench here in this first half.
Here's Carly Call getting the ball up toward Ella Bourne, but kind of took a wrong spin and went away from Ella. And now the defense for Edwardsville will take over once again. Here is Heiser. Heiser across the midfield stripe into the offensive zone. Sends the ball up, trying to hope for a teammate or two to get sprung. And in front it comes, and then back out it goes. Collinsville trying to take advantage of the opportunity that Gabby Thompson is on the bench right now for the Tigers. She with her 12 goals on the year, if not more. Like I said, there's 5 games unaccounted for on the schedule on Max Preps. STL today didn't have any stats whatsoever for Edwardsville, so I had to rely on Max Preps, and then I determined there was about 5 games worth of stats missing, so who knows. Bouncing ball taken care of there by Van Dyke.
Yeah, I don't.
Same with the boys. The boys don't use STL either.
I know for basketball, I really check that and really are on them about having that on there and correct. And
yeah,
I guess some sports fall behind.
Yeah, a lot of the spring sports seems to be one of those things that they don't really keep up with stats. As far as soccer and softball, I know baseball does a pretty good job of keeping track. Van Dyke pops it back up out to midfield once again. 14 minutes and 20 seconds left to play here in this scoreless first half thus far. Back to the Edwardsville defense. Defense will send the ball on up. That is Kate Cadigan, who is into the game for the first time. And then back to the defense it goes once again. Edwardsville will send the ball all the way down, and Van Dyke will come out and take that ball right in the very front edge of that 18-yard box, just as she had Mia Hook coming in on it.
She didn't know how to play that, and I'm over here guessing, oh, man, how's she
yeah.
What's she going to do there? And it all ended up working out.
Out to midfield we go once again. Collinsville trying to track it down and get a little offensive push going on here. Cahoks have had 1 shot on goal. Edwardsville has had 2. Each team has had 1 corner kick. I think maybe I put the corner kick under the shot on goal, so I don't think Collinsville actually has a shot on goal yet, because that one went on top from the corner kick. That one's going to go toward the end line, but stopped there by Van Dyke because she knew that a teammate was the last one to touch it and didn't want to have to deal with a corner kick, especially from the far side corner where you have the wind at your back. Van Dyke sends it back out to midfield once again. Off of a body, comes back into the offensive side of things for Edwardsville. Takes a little bit of a roll, and Collinsville got it out of harm's way. Is it going to roll across the sideline? Yes.
Yeah, well, the game still feels a lot similar to last week when they played.
Gabby Thompson will check back in for the Tigers. Hadway checks back in for Collinsville. Judasek to the bench.
Sending Thompson back. Not going to let her in just yet for whatever
I guess
reason.
not, yeah.
This must be a time that Edwardsville would definitely want her to get back in there.
Wiley comes back in, though. She'll take the place of Dimitrov. And ball is hand, yeah.
That's a handball on Edwardsville.
Handball on Edwardsville. Thankfully, it wasn't a handball on us, or we would be looking at another penalty kick.
Yeah, and on that penalty kick, Van Dyke guessed right, went to her left, just wasn't quick enough to get it.
And out toward midfield off of the head of Maxim. And Van Dyke will take care of it before anyone can get there to challenge her in any way, shape, or form. 11:40 left to play here in this first half. Still no score between Collinsville and Edwardsville. Here is Van Dyke. Got one pretty good shot there, but again, Maxim is there to make sure it doesn't get any farther. And once again, they'll send it on down to the offensive side for Edwardsville, and then she gets taken down from behind by Wiley, and Collinsville once again will have a free kick from a long ways away. This is like the third free kick inside the 20-yard line of the football markings.
Yeah, but that Muniz, she was absolutely wiped out there.
Yeah, she was. She appears to be okay.
Dusts herself off a little bit, and
yeah, Giannini gives her a little pat on the back. And Ashley Giannini will send us back to action. Thompson and now Logan waiting to come back in for Edwardsville at the next opportunity. That ball makes it up just past midfield, but Edwardsville's there to send it back in the other direction. Nice little pass over, but nice job by Giannini to step right in front of her opposing number 13 and took that ball right away from Wiley. Throw in for Collinsville coming from the far side.
that long jump sand pit's just right there,
I
ain't
know,
it?
yeah.
Holy cow.
That ball is precariously on the sideline. We're going to have another infraction against Edwardsville. Collinsville is going to get another free kick, and this one will take place about 15 yards up further than the last three have. Still a ways out, though.
Collinsville's worked at least about 3 minutes here since Edwardsville was trying to get Thompson back in. So we just go under 10 to go here in this first half.
That ball popped up into the air at midfield. Smith trying to chase it down. She's not going to get there. And it'll be Homan for the defense who will send the ball up to midfield. And now everybody's going to be allowed to come back in. Thompson and Logan for Edwardsville. And Layla Wilkerson will check back in for Collinsville, and she'll take the place of Ella Smith. Out for Edwardsville is Hook and Wiley.
Edwardsville just going to throw this one and set everything up from behind.
Hadway, the only one back there trying to give the defense any kind of a problem, comes up to Thompson. Thompson played the majority of the first half over on the far side. Now she's over here on this near side, and she does a little fancy footwork and gets past Ella Borm and then gets the ball up, but it's going to be taken care of by Munoz, and then Munoz will get the ball out of bounds just to the right of the corner kick flag, so she avoids the corner kick. It'll be a throw-in for Edwardsville from there, and argument could have been made that she got taken down from behind once again.
She really had to sell out there to clear the ball away. Thompson getting quite a run already. This right side struggled a little early in the game, but they had shorted up since, but now Edwardsville's going to counter and put Thompson over here on this side. See how it goes.
Throw-in comes right in front of the goal and batted around for a while. No one can get a shot on goal, and then they finally do. And Edwardsville will take a 1-0 lead.
Throw-in goes in there in the middle, and it just is bouncing around 9, 10, 42 times, and Dyke wasn't sure where to go after, and who you think scored that one?
Ella Thompson. I wasn't going to stop my clock until I can figure out who scored that goal.
8:19 left. Edwardsville gets this goal about a minute later than when they got their first half goal last week.
And we are back underway. Number 26, Ella Thompson scores her goal. And Edwardsville has the 1-0 lead. We are under 8 minutes to go. Collinsville still has plenty of time to come back in this one. Did he ask who? Ella Thompson. Well, Ella. I don't think that was scored by Ella. I mean, Ella Thompson was the one with throwing her arms up and celebrating, so I thought it was her.
It was Ella. It was Ella.
That's what I thought.
It was Ella.
Yeah. Confirmed by some of the Edwardsville Tigers faithful that have showed up here. There's a bouncing ball go to Van Dyke. She'll take care of that one on the bounce. Everybody just assumes when Thompson scores a goal that it's going to be Gabby, right? I don't think this door stays closed very well. Not with all this wind anyway. Collinsville sends the ball back out, and they will send it back up. And nice job on the little jump there by Heiser to keep that ball from going any farther than it did for Collinsville in their offense. Now the Kahawks get a hold of it again at the midfield and over onto the far sideline, taken there by the Kahawks, sent back, and Lyra will send the ball on up to DeHadway. DeHadway trying to find some maneuverability there, but didn't have a lot of options. And now we're going to have a run here by Gabby Thompson. Thompson will come and cut right in front of the 18-yard box, looking for a shot on goal, but she couldn't get one as Ashley Giannini supplying some stellar defense there. And then a shot that's going to go well wide of the far side post, and it'll be another goal kick restart coming up here for Van Dyke as Judasek comes back in for Collinsville, as does Rowe for Edwardsville, and Gabby Thompson will go back to the bench for the Tigers, and back to the bench is Collinsville's opposing number 8, and that is Ava DiGirolamo.
She waited all that time to get in and only gets a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to get her rested, and with the lead, have an even longer rest rolling into halftime.
Yeah. Ella Thompson got the ball around the corner and then got taken off the ball. Collinsville sends the ball back up. Nice little kick pass over there, but then Collinsville couldn't complete it. Comes back over to the defense once again, and Homan gets it up to Young. Young got taken off. Now Judasek with the ball for the Kahawks. A little spinner that gets away from everyone. Ella Borm finds it, sends it up to DeHadway. DeHadway trying to wrestle it away. She's got 3 Lady Tigers all around her, though. And then the Tigers go back to work offensively and in front. Sent over to the far side corner just outside of the 18-yard box. Shot that's toward the goal, but that's going to go well wide over here on this near side post.
Good idea. Maggie Young coming up along the right side here. She could have got to it. Might have had an opportunity.
Under 5 minutes to go here in this first half. 1-0 in favor of Edwardsville.
It's kicked back up a little more now.
Yeah, it has. Got a cold front moving through. It's only supposed to be, it was like 84 degrees when I got here today. It's only supposed to be like 70 tomorrow. And not much better on Thursday. I believe some of the overnight lows are going to be back down into the 40s. That is very uncharacteristic for the middle of May. We're heading toward the end, man. It's already the 20th.
Yeah, we're on the final 2 days of school.
Yeah. Kids' last day is Thursday. And everybody else, the last day is Friday. Got a half a day on Friday to do the teachers and the educational assistants. Throw in coming up here for the Kahawks. It'll be handled by Ella Borm. Under 4 minutes to go here in this first half. 1-0 in favor of Edwardsville. And Borm will send it back up. And back out to midfield. And a bouncing ball that's going to go out of bounds, and there'll be another throw-in coming up here for the Kahawks. This will be taken by Call.
This felt like a lot of time wasting there. I didn't think Edwardsville was trying to put anything together. They were just widening things out and then just ended up kicking the ball out of bounds.
And that one gets past a couple, and now we're going to have another infraction against Edwardsville, and Collinsville is going to get another free kick. And seems like all of our free kicks are coming from around the 30 or 20-yard line of the football markings, and this one's going to be brought back to around the 30.
Yeah, well, when you're not getting any opportunities
in
the other half of the field, it's going to be hard to have any free kicks from much closer.
Here is Giannini, and she will send it up this near side off of Borm. And then Ella will get it right back as she can stop it before it goes out of bounds. She does. Sent up and then picked off there by Edwardsville's Katie Cadigan. And then back over to the defense it'll go for Homan. Homan ends up sending the ball back farther into the defense to Hockett. Hockett sends it over to the far side now for Heiser. All three captains just touch the ball for Edwardsville. Back out to Hockett once again. And over here on the near sideline to Homan. Homan lost control of the ball, and then it goes off of Collinsville's player and out of bounds. And now a substitution as Addie Greenwood, the junior for Edwardsville, will check into the game for the first time. She'll take the place of Maggie Young. And a throw in as we are under 2 minutes to go here in this first half. Don't forget we have the Woods Basement Systems halftime show coming up for you at the end of this first half. We'll see if we can track down a score between O'Fallon and Alton as they are playing in another regional semifinal that is taking place at Granite City. And then, of course, we have both our softball team and our baseball team in action. We'll track down scores of those for you as well. Other than that, everything else taking place a little bit later. Cardinals are at home taking on Detroit. One of the conference finals in the world of the NHL gets underway tonight. And then I believe the NBA and their conference finals get started tomorrow. Here's a centering pass that just jumps over the foot of Addie Greenwood, who was just brought into this game. That ball will go out of bounds. Collinsville will get the throw in with just under a minute to go. Boy, I tell you what. Yeah, man, Greenwood was wide open too, and that ball just jumped over her foot.
Right out in front of the net, wide open.
Right down the middle too.
Right across, and would have got a great look at it there. Might have got Van Dyke sleeping if she could have got a good shot on.
Yeah, that ball is going to roll all the way over to the far sideline, but not out. 30 seconds to go. There's a shot, and a nice save there by Van Dyke off of Greenwood. Boy, oh boy, that was a whale of a save there.
She really had to adjust to that one and did so just in time. Threw her hands up to get to that one, and
yeah, Greenwood shot that on goal while the ball was in the air. That ball never touched the ground, and it bounces over everyone's heads back into the 18-yard box. Another opportunity, a shot and a goal just before time ran out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. They're going to have to talk about that one. That was by Ella Thompson again, and we're going to have the referees are going to talk about this to see if this goal is going to count, because I looked up as soon as that ball went in and it already said zeros.
I was watching the clock about the same time. I mean, it was about as close as possible. And
yeah, they're going to go ahead and call it. Yeah, they're going to call it a goal, and Edwardsville, right at the last possible second, scores a goal to make it 2-0 in favor of Edwardsville. And Ella Thompson has scored both goals here for the Edwardsville Tigers, and they have a 2-0 lead at the end of one half of play. Time for our halftime show, brought to you by my good friends at Woods Basement Systems, all things basement-y. Woods Basement Systems, working to keep homes dry since 1986. Give them a call, 618-708-4055. Woods Basement Systems halftime show will come your way next on the Kahok Sports Network.
Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville produces their own spirits and beer on site right at the restaurant. Pair that with some of the most unique menu items around the entire metro area, and you can see why they are such a hit. They can handle you and your family, or they can handle you and your group. Throw in the occasional live entertainment, and you can see why Old Herald Brewery and Distillery is a must-stop destination in Collinsville. Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, 115 East Clay Street in Collinsville. Got vinyl? Rich's Record Emporium in Uptown Collinsville can take care of all of your vinyl needs and more. You can peruse through thousands of records, from country to hard-to-find jazz, And classic rock is always in stock at Rich's Record Emporium. Used vinyl, new vinyl, and hard-to-find vinyl. Don't forget to check out the audio room at Rich's, where you can check out the latest in audio gear, from new top-of-the-line speakers to turntables and receivers, plus all of the accessories. Rich's has t-shirts, record cleaners, turntable needles, wall art, and so much more. If you can't find what you're looking for at Rich's, they will do their best to find it for you. Don't forget to mention seeing this ad on the Kahok Sports Network for a 10% discount at checkout. Rich's Record Emporium, 131 West Main Street in Collinsville, or call 618-795-1333 or online at richesrecordemporium.com. Mike's Automotive in Collinsville is a T3 certified tire dealer and so much more. Sure, Mike's Automotive has tires. They can also help with making sure your entire vehicle is road ready, from belts and hoses to preventative maintenance like oil changes and tire rotation. Plus a lot more than that. Mike's Automotive has 3 locations to choose from. Mike's Automotive in St. Louis and Millstadt, and Mike's Automotive in Collinsville at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Or call Mike's Automotive at 618-345-0611. Mike's Automotive in Collinsville.
First National Bank of Waterloo, with over 100 years serving the Metro East. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo at their Maryville and Collinsville locations, and now in Marissa, St. Laborie, and New Athens for all of your banking, mortgage, and lending needs with super low closing costs and low construction loan rates. When you need a loan, call the Collinsville team at First National Bank of Waterloo at 618-345-1121 or visit their Maryville or Collinsville locations or online at fnbwaterloo.bank. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Keep your ride shiny and clean with Extreme Details Vehicle Detailing in Collinsville. Owner Jay Merkel and his crew at Extreme Details believe in the value of community and in helping their community hold the value of their vehicles with a sharp-looking, clean ride that you and your community can be proud of. Extreme Details can handle any job, whether you drive a small car, an SUV, or even a bus or RV. No job is too big or too small at Extreme Details. Extreme Details offers scratch and oxidation removal, no matter what you drive: cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, and more. Plus, Extreme Details can handle fleet vehicles for you and your company. Call Jay and the gang at Extreme Details at 618-977-1224. Check for periodic specials on the Extreme Details Facebook page. Put the shine in your ride with Extreme Details, 618-977-1224. Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside All-Star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today at 618-344-2800 in Collinsville or 314-241-5253 or online at lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience, choose Lakeside. Once again, we welcome you back here to Belleville West High School, 2-0 in favor of Edwardsville. Everybody's on their phones looking at the feed here on the Kahok Sports Network to determine if that goal was scored before the clock hit 0. And you can't pay attention to my clock. My clock has not got the 0.00 seconds on there. So everybody's trying to look at the scoreboard, but with the sun shining out here, it's a little tough to see as that goal is being scored, but it doesn't really matter anyway. The referees have made up their mind, and they're not going to go back and change it. We welcome you back into the Woods Basement Systems halftime show. We are at halftime here, 2-0 in favor of Edwardsville. Softball team for Collinsville at Granite City, currently losing by a score of 10-1. The baseball team is at Belleville East this afternoon, and they are currently up 4-1 over the Lancers. We will have baseball between Collinsville and Belleville East Thursday afternoon for you. And then those two teams will meet each other 1 week from tomorrow to begin the playoffs at O'Fallon, and we'll be there to bring you that one as well. So a very abbreviated look at the Woods Basement Systems halftime show. Usually happens around this time of year when we're just got playoffs going on and not much else more. So we thank our friends at Woods Basement Systems. Again, if you have some water issues going on in your house you need to get taken care of, Woods Basement Systems is the place to call, 618-708-4055. Second half action comes your way next on the Kahok Sports Network.
Lottie's Cafe, Collinsville's hidden gem. Lottie's Cafe offers food, cocktails, and gaming in a great atmosphere highlighted by fast and friendly service. Lottie's Cafe also offers a unique menu that features soups and salads, sandwiches and paninis, pizza and flatbreads, appetizers and desserts, as well as breakfast. That's right, we said breakfast. Unique breakfast items such as a breakfast stromboli, a breakfast BLT, and breakfast burritos. Lottie's also offers creative cocktails, a wine bar, the coldest beer around, and a video gaming area for those 21 and older. And don't forget the Lottie's Cafe gift certificates. Lottie's Cafe, Collinsville's hidden gem. Check them out online at lottiescafe.com, on Facebook, or in person in the Strip next to the Walmart Neighborhood Market. Or call Lottie's Cafe at 618-223-8256. Lottie's Cafe, Collinsville's hidden gem. Todd Duke here, proud member of the Collinsville Educational Assistance Association. Whether you call us teachers' aides, paraprofessionals, or educational assistants, it all comes down to one thing: taking care of students. More importantly, your student. Yes, we are there for the teachers, and we help them in any way possible. But our goals are in line with our teachers in that we want to see our students succeed at not only being a student, but well beyond that as we ready them for the world outside of the classroom. We are Union Strong. We are Kahok Strong. We strive to help students reach their potential. We are the Collinsville Educational Assistance Association. Go Kahawks!
It's probably the largest purchase you'll ever make. We have 5 agents on our team.
We cover about an hour radius around St. Louis.
We grew up here. We know every town like the back of our hands.
Our job as realtors is helping someone find their dream home, whether it's a family or an individual. We just want to do everything that we can to keep the process as simple and as stress-free as possible for you.
The Blaylock Group, the official realtors of the Kahok Sports Network and Kahok Athletics. The Old Herald Brewery and Distillery in Collinsville presents the Sports Page Lounge. Come check out Collinsville's newest destination for your sports viewing pleasure. The Sports Page Lounge features a 14-foot 9-screen video wall with games across the spectrum, from college football and basketball to the NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, and NBA. Pair that with tastefully crafted libations from the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery, and you have the perfect atmosphere for your sports viewing pleasure. The Sports Page Lounge, next to the Old Herald Brewery and Distillery at 115 Clay Street in Collinsville. Call 618-855-8027 for more information. The Sports Page Lounge, a new experience for sports lovers in Collinsville.
Once again, we welcome you back here to Belleville West High School. Todd Duke and Chris Kettler. Bob Golby Field is where we are. Good old Bob Golby.
Unfortunate break for the Kahawks there just before the halftime. Giving up a goal by the latest possible goal you'll ever see.
Yeah, Brett Borm is here, and he looked at it on the YouTube as well and said, your clock said 0, but he can't tell what the actual game clock out here said. So
different halves, but that definitely tops the Zane Baker goal as far as time goes. He still left about 3 seconds, but
I think there was like 2.8, something like that left on that Zane Baker goal.
Yeah, around 3 seconds.
Anyway, I remember. I still remember that game. Because it looked like somebody had just shot all the Edwardsville players because they all just hit the ground all at the same time when that ball went in. That was craziness. So Collinsville's got their work cut out for them. Collinsville did not have a shot on goal in that first half. Edwardsville had 5. 2 of them went in. Each team had a corner kick. And now Collinsville will go back to play some defense once again. Here is Call She'll get the ball all the way back out to midfield. Collinsville really didn't penetrate the offensive zone that much in that first half besides that corner kick. And that was just a ricochet that went off of one of the Lady Tigers players and ended up rolling all the way across the end line. Other than that, the Kahawks have not spent any good significant amount of time putting any kind of pressure on Jenny Burrows and the Edwardsville defense. And we switch ends of the field, and Edwardsville is going to have a free kick from about 50 yards away over on the far side, as both the Belleville schools have arrived here, as they will take to the field next. That one goes bouncing all the way through and across the end line and down over there by the Belleville East Lady Lancers as they gather in a little circle there to take in the second half of this game. And the Maroons, they're probably in a locker room somewhere because this is their home turf. And Carly Van Dyke will send us back to action once again. And that ball won't quite make it out to midfield. And Edwardsville will send it back out toward the goal. Occupied by Van Dyke. Trying to fend off that ball and getting that is Morgan Lang. She does a pretty nice job. Sends it all the way over here to Serna. Serna will reverse direction and send the ball through the midfield circle over to Smith, but Ella couldn't hold on to it. And then she'll step right in front of a Edwardsville Lady Tiger trying to get a little bit further into the offensive zone, and then Edwardsville will send it right back to the defense and start all over again. They bring it across midfield, do the Tigers. Both goals here scored by Ella Thompson in this contest, one with 8:19 left in the first half, and one as time was running out. There's another save by Van Dyke on a nice shot there by Mia Hook. And that was another beautiful save there by Van Dyke. She's been tested. A couple of goals that have went in. She really didn't have much of a chance to save, but she's made a couple of beauty saves here in this game.
Yeah, it's another one where she just happened to turn right at the right time, threw her hands up, and blocked that one right away from Hook. Another dangerous opportunity for Edwardsville right in front of the goal.
Yeah. Over in front of the Edwardsville bench there is Dimitrov, gets the ball up to Gabby Thompson. Thompson turns the corner, trying to get around Giannini. Giannini does a nice job of sending that ball out, and I don't think that are they going to call Giannini?
I'm just going to call it off of Giannini.
Okay.
And give Edwardsville the corner.
This will be the second corner kick for Edwardsville. They had one really early in the first half. This one's going to be from this near side corner, so it is going to go into the wind. And they're going to switch up. Looked like Dimitrov was going to take that one. Now they're going to send Thompson over into the corner. Figured you'd rather have Thompson out there waiting for the ball to get to her, wouldn't you?
Maybe with the wind, I think she has more of the power and accuracy to get this where it needs to go.
Clay Smith standing down there watching the whole thing. Thompson ready to go and sends one high, hoping that wind will push it back toward the goal, but it did not. Collinsville gets it back out. Shot on goal again by Hook, but that never made it very far. And then one that pops over everyone's heads and taken care of there by Van Dyke.
Takes a scary bounce right in front of Van Dyke with that wind whipping down.
Yeah.
If it gets past her, it's going to roll on in.
Both the baseball game and the softball game taking place across the way still going on. We'll have some baseball for you Thursday from Fletcher Field. A little preview of the upcoming regional semifinal that'll take place between Collinsville and Belleville East.
Yeah, and hopefully the last time from Fletcher Field for Kahok baseball.
Hopefully.
If we get this field going for next year.
I hope so.
That's what we're all hoping for.
Yeah. Of course, Collinsville still has one more regular season game left after that as Van Dyke comes in and takes that ball right before Thompson could get there. Collinsville will close out their baseball season next Saturday at Marion. That one bounces over everyone's head and goes out over the midfield stripe. It'll be Collinsville's ball. Throw in coming up here from Serna. She doesn't want to waste any time trying to figure out who else could help her out there. So she sends the ball up and finds DeHadway, but DeHadway then gets bumped off of the ball, and Edwardsville will take over and send it back up to midfield. And once again, Collinsville and DeHadway, she got kind of stepped on there, and we're going to have a whistle against the Edwardsville Lady Tiger. I believe that was on Grace Hughes. Collinsville is going to have a free kick from the deepest part of the offensive zone that they're going to have here so far today, and it's going to be Giannini who will take this one from about 50 yards out. Well, she'll be going into that wind as well. Giannini ready to go and sends the ball up. The wind kind of chops it down, and Judasek couldn't quite get there. Squirts all the way out, and here come the Lady Tigers up on the defensive side. They'll send it up into the offense, and well out of the 18-yard box is Van Dyke, and she'll send it past Gabby Thompson just as Thompson was getting there. And that ball is going to end up rolling out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in coming up here for Edwardsville. Throw-in handled by Woles. Gets it up to Thompson. Gabby puts on a couple of nice moves once again, and then gets taken out of the play, and that ball ends up going across the end line. Put there by Thompson, so Collinsville will have a goal kick restart out of this one.
Just trying to put on the moves, but Giannini just isn't having it and stays on her. Definitely not going to go off of Thompson there. Giannini just stays right on her.
Giannini's pretty good like that. Back out to the midfield logo. Hockett tries to send the ball up. That's rejected by Collinsville. Then it finds the foot of Homan. Homan will get the ball right back after she sends it up the sideline, and then that one will go off of one of the Collinsville players, and it'll be a throw-in over there on the other side. Bouncing ball, bounces over everyone and takes a roll, and it'll go across the end line, and we're going to have a corner kick coming up here for Edwardsville. This one will be from the far side corner flag, and this will be the third corner kick of the game for the Lady Tigers. This one will be handled by Mia Hook. Hook. She's ready to go. Has the wind kind of at her back. And she'll send that one up and into the 18-yard box and off of a head and bounces right to Van Dyke.
Right off of Hockett's head and rolls down. Fortunately for Edwardsville, straight to Van Dyke. If it could have got on a body there and could have had a shot.
That one goes past midfield. Collinsville trying to track it down, but getting there first was Woles. And then Woles will kick it right to Jody Munoz, who is not playing.
Couple subs come in here.
Ella Borm will check back in, take the place of Morgan Lang.
Throw in here. Girolamo
trying to wrestle it away.
Yeah.
Edwardsville gets there. Sends it back up to midfield.
Cerna right in front, or Lyra right here in front of us. Loses it, and Edwards will throw it in. Oh, no, wait. There's something back here on the other side here. Changing the call now.
Huh. And Liana Lyra will switch places with Carly Call. Call with the throw in. Looking and throws it straight down, and it gets kicked right back out, right over the trainer's table. So Call will move up about 5 yards and try it again. And gets it past everyone and past Judasek. Unfortunately, that was her target there, and that was off of the arm of Giannini. So that's going to turn into a free kick coming up here for the Lady Tigers.
Yep, just rolled up on her there.
Yeah, it sure did.
Guess a handball.
First 10 minutes here in half number 2 are in the history books. And here is Dimitrov will bring the ball up, doing a couple of zigzags, takes a shot on goal right at Van Dyke. That is the 8th shot on goal here for Edwardsville.
Everything just parted there for Dimitrov. She had all kinds of running room and had a nice shot there. Puts it right in on Van Dyke, comes up tall and makes a save.
Well, luckily for her, she was in the right spot. Then bodies collide. That would be Hook.
Serna collides.
Right into Serna, yeah. That was just a total accident, but boy, that looked
She was
like
out.
it could have been painful.
Yeah, she was out with injury earlier, and she's played all year with that right leg with that cover over it. So you worry about her colliding with somebody like that.
That ball had some spin on it. It bounced down around the 25-yard line of the football markings and then bounced back to the 30 once it hit the ground. Back to Serna it goes. It's picked up there, though, by Dimitrov, and then into the air it goes. Giannini was there but couldn't get a head on it. And now Wolves will, Dimitrov will send one toward the goal. A nice easy roll toward Van Dyke, and she takes care of it with no problems at all. 28.5 minutes to go here in this second half. 2-0 in favor of Edwardsville. Both goals coming from Ella Thompson, the sophomore. One at the 8:19 mark. Well, 8:19 left to go in the first half. And then one just before time expired at the end of the first half. Judasek having a rough go of it out there. And then Serna gets taken down, and this time it's going to be by Mia Hook. So Collinsville will have a free kick from about 70 yards away. Giannini ready to take this free kick. Ashley lines it up and sends it down range. Off of a head by Edwardsville to Carly Call. Call trying to settle it down and send it on up, but that got rejected once again by Wolves. And now Wolves will get the ball right back. She has on the same color shoes as Giannini does. And now up to Dimitrov. Dimitrov threads the needle. Gets the ball up to Maxim. Maxim gets knocked off the ball. Ella Borm, but then Ella Borm gets knocked off the ball. Gets it back to Maxim. Here's Gamby Thompson, and she is going to shoot just wide. And she was wide open, too, coming up the middle. And just shot that one over here past this near side post.
At least as Van Dyke came out there, she made Thompson commit to his side way earlier than she was looking at the goal and just sent it too far to the left side there.
And now Gabby Thompson is going to come to the bench and have a seat, as is Mia Hook.
All you can do there is just hope to disrupt them before they get a good look at it, and ends up working out.
Back out toward midfield, off of the body of Judasek, comes down for Wolves, Dimitrov once again. Dimitrov gets it right back off of a ricochet off of a Collinsville body, sends it back to the midfielders. Midfielders will send it back to the defense, and here is Heiser. Heiser sends it over to her defensive partner, Hockett. Hockett sends it up over onto the far side sideline. Collinsville got a hold of it for a second, but there's another opportunity for Edwardsville. And then back over to the far side sideline it goes. An opportunity for a shot, and that one's going to go wide. And we'll have another goal kick restart coming up here for Van Dyke.
Almost another, well, that was Greenwood that time. She could have got a foot on it.
Van Dyke will set it down. Lady Lancers from Belleville East watching. And Van Dyke sends a low line drive out to the midfielders area, and then it's picked up there by Borm. Borm will find Wilkerson. Wilkerson got a couple of defenders to deal with and trying to get the ball back and can't. And then Giannini will get a hold of it, and then it's kicked upfield, but there is no way that Greenwood was going to catch up to that one, and it's going to turn into another goal kick restart here for Collinsville.
Could have been a little better of a draw as far as the regionals go if Collinsville could have got Belleville West or Belleville East. They did get.
I agree.
They did lose by a lot the second time they played Belleville West, but the first time here was
that overtime game.
And Belleville East, they split with them.
Yeah, beat them at our place 1-0. Lost at their place 2-1. Here's Carly Call, right off of one of the camera people down here taking pictures. And then back out to midfield it goes. Sent back to the defense once again. Here is Hockett. Hockett will send it up, trying to spring someone loose, and that ball Actually made it to one of her teammates, but then it took a wrong bounce. Collinsville will take over. And here is Ella Smith. Smith gets punched off the ball. Here is Dimitrov. She'll send the ball up. Picked up over there by Lyra. Liliana, our pregame guest, gets it over for Borm. Borm sends it back out to midfield. Taken over by Hockett once again, or excuse me, that is Homan. One of those girls whose last names begin with H. All three of them play defense. All three of them are the captains.
Almost all the way back to the goalie, Burrows. I don't know if she even had a touch on the ball yet today.
No, not really, because that corner kick Collinsville had ended up on top of the net. And an opportunity here for Edwardsville, and here is Greenwood once again. She'll turn around, center one right over the head. Ready to knock that in with the noggin was Rowe, and it just went over her head. Over the other side, never did go out of bounds. Now it does, and it'll be a goal kick restart coming up here for Van Dyke.
And Rowe just wasn't tall enough.
Yeah.
She was just a little taller. That would have been an easy header right into the net.
Maggie Young and Kate Cadigan will check back into the game for Edwardsville. Olivia Woles comes out, as does Dimitrov. Goal kick restart for Van Dyke. She'll send it up, and off of Ella Borm it goes over to the far sideline. Picked up there by Maggie Young. Young gets taken out, she takes out Borm. And then back to the defense it goes once again for Edwardsville. They'll send it over towards the middle to Heiser. Heiser sends it on up. Taken over there by Logan. Logan back to the defense once again. And the defense will send it up, trying to get that transition going on. Here is Lyra. Lyra pops the ball up. It's picked up there once again by Logan. Logan will take a shot on goal, and that one's knocked up in through the football uprights by Van Dyke. And it'll be a corner kick coming up here for Edwardsville. This will be their fourth of the game, as we have 22 minutes left to play here in this second half. Collinsville down by 2. Feel a lot better about it if they wouldn't have scored that goal as time ran out in the end of the first half, because then you only need one to get the equalizer. Looks like the softball game's over. There's the corner kick, comes out the other side and off of the head and over the end line, and that is going to be another goal kick restart coming up here for Van Dyke.
That was one that was just flared out there, kept traveling. Almost caught Greenwood there in the far corner.
Whoever the baseball team is playing over there, the visitor is winning 7-4 in the 6th inning. I can see that on the scoreboard. Don't know who they're playing though. Probably a Southwestern Conference game.
The team out there looks like they got red on. Makes you believe Alton maybe.
Yeah, could be. Back to the defense it goes once again for Edwardsville into the mid-circle, and then back over once again for Homan.
Stands the reason they would play Alton, because we're playing East. I know Edwardsville's playing O'Fallon.
Yep.
So
makes a little sense. Throw in coming up here for Collinsville.
Unless I'm misseeing it and it's orange or something.
Yeah, the scoreboard just says home and guest, so I have no idea who exactly is playing. A lot of these baseball and softball scoreboards just say home and guest or home and visitor.
Nice they have one that works.
Yeah, true. That is true. Haven't got the one at Kahok or Fletcher Field to work yet?
No, they were able to get that one to work, unfortunately. But
always something, isn't it?
If we get our new field, we don't have to worry about that one. If not, maybe they'll eventually get a new one out there at Fletcher Field.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Here is Giannini with the intercepted pass, and she'll send it up the sideline. And it'll eventually roll across that sideline. It'll be a throw-in coming up here for Heiser. Ella Smith wants to check back into the game at the next opportunity, but that's not going to be right this second, or is it? Yep, now it is.
Both teams getting a sub in here.
Wiley will come in for Edwardsville, take the place of Rowe, and Smith will come in and take the place of, I don't know who, Carly Call.
Carly Call standing there talking to Coach.
Yep. Well, tip that one on back to Burrows. Burrows will finally get a little action into the game.
I think our first touch of the ball in the game.
Probably. And that one's going to go off of Borm and out of bounds. 19 minutes left to play here in half number 2. Collinsville losing 2-0. They just need to get a goal here soon, so they have an opportunity to tie it up in the latter part of the game. There's the Lady Maroons Belleville West, who finally showed up here at their own park. Bob Goby Field. And Collinsville will send it on up. And finds Everwright for a second, but that didn't last very long as Hockett takes over for the defense and will send it over here to the defensive partner and Heiser. Heiser back over to Hockett. Hockett, a little chip shot up, and it rolls past everybody. Closest one there was Greenwood. Now Greenwood in a battle sends it up, and Giannini finds it first, sends it back. And then a shot, and I think, did Van Dyke even touch that?
Apparently not.
Nope, apparently not. Went over
her.
Yep, went over the end line, and it's going to be a goal kick restart here for Van Dyke.
Wasn't sure if she swatted it away.
She put her hand up there. I think once she realized that she was past the post, she kind of put her hand down real quick and just let it go. And all the way out to Borm. And then a loose ball that's going to roll over to the sideline. Collinsville couldn't get there, but Edwardsville will have a throw in. And it'll be handled here by Cadigan. Cadigan throws it into the 18-yard box. Greenwood gets there first. And then Smith gets there second. Got a little bit of a piece of action to that ball. And then a slow roller in and sent right back out by Lira. Comes all the way out to midfield, and then a couple of bodies run into each other. I thought for a minute the referee was going to blow his whistle. He put his hand toward his mouth, but then pulled it back. And then over onto the far side it goes. Maybe the softball game is still going on. Thought I saw a bunch of people leaving, but can't see that scoreboard from here. There's a tree in the way.
Maybe. I don't know.
Neither do I. Edwardsville up 2-0. Looking for more. Here is Greenwood with a shot. That's going to go well wide over on the far side post. And another goal kick restart coming up here for Van Dyke, who has been very busy making saves and with goal kick restarts.
Yeah, just makes that goal that was given up at the end of the half just even more unfortunate, because if you were just fighting to stay alive and only needing one goal, feel a lot better.
Sure would. Van Dyke sends the ball back out, and Ella Borm knocked it down, and Serna trying to track it down. She'll just block it and let it go out of bounds. It'll belong to Collinsville. Kahawks will have a throw in. They don't waste any time trying to get it up and past the junior Kea Gulclan, who's into the game over there. Back to the defense and back up to midfield. Collinsville gets there first. Lyra will send the ball all the way down and give Burrows something to do. She'll wait for it to bounce to her and then take care of it. Both the Belleville teams are getting warmed up. They have next. That ball bounces all the way back out to midfield, and trying to chase it down is Ella Smith. And Smith in a little battle with Greenwood, but that ball goes across the line. It's going to be a throw-in coming up here for who?
Not sure, as both teams are subbing here.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be...
Looks like it's going to be Collinsville.
Collinsville throwing it in here deep in their own end.
Yeah, and Call will come back in and take care of that. Right in front of Clay Smith and Joe Munoz. Call throws it up the line, and Edwardsville got a foot on it first. Judasek almost got there in time to get that ball going in the other direction, but Hockett will take over, trying to get around Judasek. She does so and puts a shot toward goal, but that's well wide of the near side post. The Yellow Jacket's been hanging out since I got here, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing him when I got here. He's like, what are y'all doing here? I live here.
Yeah. Well, there was a dead one on the counter when they got here. I thought he was just trying to find his friend. His friend is no longer with us. Out to midfield. Edwardsville leading 2-0. Looking to close this out as we have 14 minutes left to go here in this second half. Taken care of there by Cadigan. Cadigan sends it back to the defense. Defense sends it up, trying to spring the offense, but Giannini had other things in mind. And now a loose ball at the top of the circle, sent up. And here is Grace Hughes. Hughes will send the ball down. One hopper, taken care of, no problem at all there by Van Dyke. We have the day off tomorrow. Got some baseball for you on Thursday. Collinsville taking on Belleville East from Fletcher Field. And then that will be our last regular season game of the year here in the spring. Before we have playoff action coming up for you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. Volleyball on Monday, softball on Tuesday, baseball on Wednesday. We're going to be all over the place. At Belleville East for volleyball on Monday, back here at Belleville West on Tuesday for softball, and then at O'Fallon Wednesday for baseball.
Collinsville not hosting any of the
nope.
spring sports events.
Not this go-round.
Postseason-wise.
Throw in by Cadigan. Bounced up in the air, and Collinsville gets a hold of it and sends it back out towards midfield. Cerna got a hold of it for a second, but that one disappeared. Then Judasek will send the ball back out to midfield, but there's the defense for Edwardsville. Collinsville trying to get something going on in their offensive zone. Put a little pressure on Burrows and the three captain defenders back there for Edwardsville, but that's been a hard task here in this game for Collinsville. That ball gets away, and nice job by Wilkerson, man. She is battling. She got tugged on and tugged on and tugged on again. Finally, the referee had seen enough, and he blows the whistle, and Collinsville will have a free kick, but from the defensive side of the midfield stripe. And here is Giannini once again to do that.
Freshman out there battling late here in a game. They're down a few goals.
Giannini sends the ball down, and it's off of a head belonging to Edwardsville, and then Judasek uses her head to send it right back to where it came from. Now a loose ball popped up into the air, and Collinsville going the wrong direction here. At midfield, Munoz sends it on up. Dad Joe watching intently. Here is Judasek. Judasek sends it over to Lyra. Lyra sends it on up for Lang. And then off of one of the defenders for Edwardsville, and out of bounds it goes. Collinsville will have a throw in. Lyra will take it. Sent right back to where it came from, almost. Collinsville will send it back up again. Edwardsville pops the ball up. And it takes an Edwardsville bounce and continues to go that direction until it's banked off of the body of Giannini, but then Giannini catches up with it, sends the ball back up toward midfield. Collinsville trying to keep everything out of the general direction of Van Dyke. Can't do it. That ball will roll right to her. And I think Collinsville avoided a little bit of a turbulent situation there after that ball hit Giannini and kind of took a spin toward Van Dyke.
Yeah, luckily Van Dyke was just able to scoop that one up. Could have ended up bouncing around. Didn't happen.
Off of Giannini. Giannini will go track it down before it has a chance to go out of bounds, and she turns around and saw that she had an Edwardsville player coming right up behind her. Collinsville does a nice job of not letting it go out of bounds, but now we're going to have a whistle on the play, and we're going to have a throw-in. I didn't think that ball went out of bounds.
I guess they say Wilkerson didn't get there in time to get that one out, or as she was controlling it, it went out. Either way, it was off of Collinsville, out off of Collinsville.
Throw-in will be coming from Cadigan. Cadigan throws it in, and then almost stepping on the ball there was Logan. Logan cuts across the midfield and sends it back to the circle. Picked up there by Goklan. Goklan sends it over to the far side and then sent up
to Maxim. Maxim cuts across the middle, sends the ball up to Logan. Logan turns around and runs into Giannini, and then Munoz will get a hold of the ball and send it back over to Cadigan. Cadigan sends the ball back into the general vicinity where she needs to be, but then Collinsville rejects that attempt. Back to Cadigan it goes. And over here to the near side sideline for Audrey White, who is into the game for the first time. She'll take over the throw-in as we are around 8:45 left to play here in the second half. 2-0 in favor of Edwardsville. Winner will move on to play the winner of the next game between Belleville East and Belleville West. Collinsville gets called, and Wilkerson got called for taking down Lane Logan, so Edwardsville is going to have a free kick from about 35 yards out.
Unnecessary there as Edwardsville had played the ball back. Nothing going on in that area as the ball had already been cleared back.
Free kick being taken here by Maxim. 35 yards away. Can use a little bit of the wind. And that free kick is on the way, and that is going to go wide, far side.
Fortunately, the baseball team has fallen behind now, 7-4.
Yeah, softball team lost 14-1 at Granite City. Was supposed to be a home game, but
both times,
yep.
I think it's Granite was supposed to be.
I know.
And both times it got flipped. It has been not good trying to get games in down at the CBSL fields.
No, it is not.
This year.
They'll try again on Thursday when Edwardsville comes to town for the season finale, and that now has turned into senior day. As that was supposed to take place today. Yeah, they've had to move that a bunch of times too.
Yeah, 3 times there's been trying to have senior day, and all 3 times the game had to be moved to away just to get it in.
Yeah.
CBSL fields weren't playable.
Here's Giannini. Sends the ball down. That's off of the leg of one of the Edwardsville players. Comes back to Collinsville, but a loose ball picked up there by Maxim. Maxim sends it back to the defense. Defense will send it up the far side sideline, and that ball is going to take a roll. And Van Dyke will go scoop it up just before Maggie Young could get there.
Maggie Young tried to get that one. Streaking down that right side. Kahok struggled defending that right side way earlier in the game, but it really shorted up here, especially in the second half.
Second game was supposed to start at 6:30, wasn't it? Running a little behind. Nope, scheduled for 7. Never mind.
I'm saying 40 and 40 and a 10 and a half time is going to be an hour and a half in itself.
I'm thinking regular season when you get, 5 o'clock JV and a 6:30 start for varsity.
Yeah.
Never happens on time. That ball's out of bounds.
That doesn't happen anyway, and the JV games are shorter.
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen anyway. Well, final 6 minutes here, and
yep. Collinsville needs 1 goal every 3 minutes. But right now the clock is still running before Carly Call is going to throw the ball in as they're jockeying for position out there, and Edwardsville comes away with it, and then Call kicks it right off of the body there of Mia Hook. Collinsville gets a hold of it. Here is Serna. Serna then gets pinched off. She got double teamed there by the defense. We're going to have a whistle. Collinsville is going to have a free kick from about 40 yards out.
Look weird. Serna got taken out, and then her and Grace Hughes kind of tumbled over the top of each other, and now the Cahoks will get a good look here from 30 yards out.
And it's going to be Judasek to take this free kick. And it is on the way, and that wind kind of knocked it down. It's in the 18-yard box, though. Collinsville sends it back out. Judasek tried to kick it, but swing and a miss by her allows Edwardsville to come up with it. Here is Ashley Giannini. Giannini got some speed. Oh, barely went out of bounds. She tried real hard to keep that in bounds.
Still giving it their all here in these final few minutes.
Yes, they are.
Lots of action there down there for the Cahoks trying to gotta get the first one. We're gonna get the second one.
Yep, here is Abby Jones. Jones over here just outside of the 18-yard box. trying to settle the ball down. She gets a little bit of a double team, and then Giannini will send the ball right off of the body there of Cadigan. Cadigan sends it over to the far side, kept in bounds by Young, and then she couldn't keep it in bounds any longer.
Wasn't able to keep that one in. It goes out. Goal kick down here in this end.
4 minutes to go here in the second half. Collinsville down 2-0. In jeopardy of seeing their season end and the end of careers for 7 Lady Kahawks who are seniors this year and have already graduated.
Yep, they've already had graduation, so this comes to an end for them tonight. That'll be
always bittersweet.
It for them as far as anything with Collinsville High School.
Another free kick coming
As
up here for
students.
Collinsville, yep. Ashley Giannini from a long ways away will take this free kick with 3:20 left to play here in the second half. And off of the backside there of Cadigan. Popped up. And then Giannini's going to have to try to chase this one down. She's got Young coming up behind her, and Giannini tried to send it to the sideline for a throw-in, but never did make it that direction, and that goes across the end line, and it's going to be the 5th corner kick of the game for Edwardsville.
That was the idea of what you want to do, send that to the sidelines, but not what happened there.
Not at all. 7-6 now at that baseball game. Here is Kate Cadigan. Cadigan with the left foot will pop that ball up, and the wind will take it back behind the net.
Not left-footed like that one. That one's not going even stay in bounds.
Yeah, with that wind, you would have thought they would have got a right-legged kicker out there to take that one so they can put it into the wind and let the wind take it back, but that didn't happen. So another goal kick restart here for Van Dyke. Van Dyke will send the ball up. And Carly Call gets it, sends it over to the midfield logo. Knocked down there. Here is Serna. Serna with her head up, looking to spring somebody. Duhadway was coming up the middle. Burrows will get a little bit of action, sends it all the way back out to midfield. As we are down to the final 90 seconds left to play here in this second half. That ball is going to roll into the 18-yard box, and Jenny Burrows, the junior goalkeeper, will wait to pick it up as Duhadway will come and force the issue. You know, Burrows was just trying to waste another 15 seconds there. Sends the ball out, bounces over everyone's head, and Collinsville will get a hold of it, and here is Giannini. Ashley sends it over to the sideline, and it's going to roll right to the Edwardsville bench.
What on
Where one of the players that's not playing right now decided that she wanted to just flop her body down there to stop that one.
Bench is kind of small, so they got like 3 or 4 girls sitting out in front of the bench area.
Abby Fetterman, the head coach, is the one sitting in the red chair all the way over to the far side right. That ball will roll out of bounds with about 30 seconds left to play.
Final 30 seconds. At least we had a nice day. We got this game in, and fortunately, Kahok soccer season will come to an end here.
Yep, both goals coming in the first half. One came with barely any time left on the clock as Van Dyke will scoop up that one. Collinsville, unfortunately, could not get a shot on goal in this entire game, and you can't score unless you get a shot on goal.
Final 2 seconds, and it's the end of the game.
Yep, so Collinsville will drop this regional semifinal. Edwardsville will move on to play the winner of the next game between Belleville East and Belleville West, and we go into our post-game show. Brought to you by LC's Pub in Caseyville. Great food, great drinks, and great service. All served up daily at LC's Pub in Caseyville. 605 North Main Street is where you'll find them in good old Caseyville. You can give them a call for carry-out orders. That's LC's Pub, 618-855-9007.
post-game show. That is what we have coming up for you next here on the Kahok Sports Network. Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice, friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than LC's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, LC's Pub is the pub of choice for Kahok fans, before, after, or even during Kahok games. LC's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. LC's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And LC's Pub shows Kahok games live as well as Blues and Cardinals games. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carryout orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at LC's Pub. LC's Pub, Kahok fans' pub of choice.
At Visionary Wealth Advisors, we empower you to see your future before it's your future, to create your inheritance, to build your vision, to anticipate the known and unknown, and to find potential in both, and build new dawns. Visionary Wealth Advisors.
Visit Brad Keene at his Collinsville office at 106 North Clinton or call 618-467-8420. Do you have a big land improvement project that requires some outside help? Call Petroff Trucking Company. The Petroff Companies have been shaping the metro area since 1975. Family owned and operated, Petroff Trucking Company can do the job and do it right. Hauling, excavating, and grading, they do that and more. Petroff Companies also has roll-off dumpster rentals. They also specialize in dirt and rock sales. Petroff Trucking Company can help you develop your land for your needs. Petroff Trucking Company. Check out their website, petrofftrucking.com, or give them a call, 618-797-6100. Petroff Trucking Company, shaping the metro area since 1975. Just because we're adults doesn't mean we don't have toys, am I right? If your adult toys consist of boats, campers, or RVs, then you need to call the GASA storage team of professionals. Winter weather in the Midwest can be quite harsh, and finding a place to properly store those expensive toys for winter can be just as rough as a Midwest winter. That's where the GASA storage team comes in, with outdoor self-storage and covered storage for your toys. They even have tractor-trailer parking. Conveniently located at Horseshoe Lake Road and 111 in Pontoon Beach. GASA Storage, for the safe storage of all of your toys. Contact the GASA Storage Team, gasastorage@gmail.com, or call today, GASA Storage Team, 618-797-6100. Collinsville High School alumni Stacy Lauenstein, CHS Class of 91, Lisa Bassetto, Sarah Sulke, and Tracy Limp, CHS Class of 94, Tony Geisen, CHS Class of 96, and Kevin Robinson, CHS Class of 99, want to wish all of our Kahawks a great year. We look forward to cheering you on and supporting you. Work hard on the court and the field, as well as in the classroom. Remember, once a Kahawk, always a Kahawk. Hashtag Kahawk Family. The Collinsville Education Association is a proud supporter of KahawkSports.com and the Kahawk Sports Network. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education and represent over 400 educators in 11 schools in both Madison and St. Clair counties. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page or the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org. Pack Mail of Collinsville, locally owned and operated by Ryan Combs. Pack Mail can ship anything, anywhere. They treat you like a neighbor because, well, you are a neighbor. Pack Mail offers shipping materials and containers, private mailboxes, as well as climate-controlled self-storage.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
The Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been a proud supporter of KahokSports.com and the Kahok Sports Network from day one. Since 1934, the Junior Service Club of Collinsville has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go towards helping the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event sponsored by the Collinsville Junior Service Club, head to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and then click on the event tab. We thank the Collinsville Junior Service Club for their continued support of the Kahok Sports Network and KahokSports.com. Looking for a little bite to eat in a nice friendly establishment before heading out to a game? Look no further than LC's Pub in Caseyville. Just blocks from Collinsville High School, LC's Pub is the pub of choice for Kahok fans, before, after, or even during Kahok games. LC's Pub features a wide variety of traditional bar food like burgers and fries, chicken wings and chicken strips, appetizers like pepper jack mac and cheese bites, fried pickles, and green beans. Plus they have salads, fish, shrimp, and more. LC's Pub also features an outdoor patio, a gaming room, weekly poker tournaments, and a pool table, plus enough TVs for all the sports fans. And LC's Pub shows Kahok games live as well as Blues and Cardinals games. LC's Pub, 605 North Main Street in Caseyville, right across the intersection from All Pro Tees. Call for carry-out orders at 618-855-9007 and on Facebook at LC's Pub. LC's Pub, Kahok fans' pub of choice. And once again, I don't know what happened to my camera. I think it unplugged or something. I have no idea. Doesn't really matter. Game's over anyway. 2-0 in favor of Edwardsville. Todd Duke, Chris Kettler back with you in the LC's Pub post-game show. And Chris Kettler, just unfortunate that Collinsville couldn't get down into the other end of the field and even get a shot on goal here in this one. And then you had, the goal scored by Ella Thompson with about 8:19 left to go. That would have, it was the eventual game winner anyway, but then she added another one on with time running out. We're really not sure if there was any time left on the clock in that first half.
Well, you never know how Edwardsville would have played it in the second half, needing another goal. But when you're not getting many offensive opportunities, it's hard to score, which has kind of been the story of the season. You're playing behind the ball there the whole game, and it's kind of fitting way this season ends anyway.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the Lady Kahok soccer season comes to a close. They ended up with 6 wins. That is the most wins in one season for Jody Munoz since she's taken over. She had 5 wins in 22 and 5 wins last year, so Collinsville ends up 6-13-1 on the season. Edwardsville, they improved to 13-3-3. They will take on the winner of the next game here between Belleville East and Belleville West. So that's going to do it from here. I guess I'll see you Thursday at Fletcher Field.
Yeah, I'll be there to in the PA, and we'll go from there.
Should be the last game at Fletcher Field for Kahok baseball.
As far as varsity, hope so. Hope we get that field going. They'll probably be keeping it in the mix for some underclass games, but hopefully everything comes to plan, and it is the last game at Fletcher Field.
All right, that is Chris Keller. My name is Todd Duke. That's going to do it for us here today. Next up, as we mentioned, we got baseball coming from Fletcher Field. Collinsville taking on Belleville East on Thursday, and then they'll have one more game left. Will the Kahok baseball team. That'll be Saturday down in Marion before they will kick off their postseason regional semifinal game. That'll be a week from tomorrow at O'Fallon versus the same Belleville East team that we will see them play on Thursday. So until Thursday afternoon from Fletcher Field, a big thank you to Liliana Lira joining me in the pregame interview, and another big thank you
To Chris Keller, my name is Todd Duke. Everyone enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.